Welcome to the Fireside Podcast, an Around the Fire production with your host St. Godric, where we respond to fascinating and often funny questions about LARPing and Renaissance festivals. It's fast, brief, and mostly meaningful. Now here is your host, St. Godric.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Fireside Chats. My name is St. Godric. I am a LARPer and Ren Fair goer who has been participating in these hobbies for well over a decade. On this show, I answer your questions, so let's get to today's question. Our question today comes from an anonymous LARPer out of the Kingdom of the Rising Winds, which is a game called Amtgard. The question is, what do you do when you have achieved a goal, a major goal? What's kind of that next step? So here are the steps that I go through after I finish a big goal. I think the first thing you got to do is just take a moment and relax a bit, right? Sometimes we get this feeling of, oh, what do I do next? And we forget to just revel in our triumph, right? These goals, whether it's Masterhood or Paragon or whatever it is, right? These big goals, after you achieve them, take a moment, just revel, right? You have accomplished something really huge and enjoy that for a minute. I think the second thing you need to do is then reevaluate where you are in the game and what your goals are. Sometimes these big goals that we're talking about, we set 3, 4, 5 years ago. And it's helpful sometimes to just go in and reevaluate and see what we want to do now. Those goals can change, and the things that you want to do now could be very different from the things you wanted to do back then. So reevaluate what you want to do. Make sure that what you're doing is still fun. That's the biggest thing that I see players do. They feel like they need to do all of these things to get their masterhood, to get their knighthood, to do something for their beltline, whatever it is, right? And they start to do these things and they just don't enjoy it anymore. And that's the quickest way to lead to burnout, right? If your goal that you just accomplished, if you feel like, man, I've just had so much, I don't really want to do this much anymore, pivot into another direction. Our games are so wide, there's no reason that you have to keep doing something that you don't enjoy. So reevaluate, figure out where you are, figure out where you want to go. Next step is finding out what you want to do. If you're like me, I'm an achievement hunter in video games. I figure out the next thing I want to do and I keep going and I want to 100% the game, right? And so for me, I always have something else I can do, right? I have my Master Smith, I have my Master Dragon. I'm really close on battle, I'm really close on crown. I've got 2 or 3 steps further down the line that I know what I want to do. So take some time and do the same thing for you. Figure out what your next goal is. And keep in mind, it doesn't have to be a ladder award, right? Your goals can be, I want to build my park up. Your goals can be, I want to either start a belt line or join a belt line or grow my belt line. They don't always have to be numerical, I want my 8th order of the battle or 9th order of the crown or whatever it is. Those can be helpful, but it doesn't have to be that. So figure out what you want your next goal to be, and then you need to start making a plan to get there. Start doing your research, figuring out what you want to do. Talk to the people that you admire in that area. See if maybe you can learn something from them, teach something, or they can teach you something, and make sure that you start with a plan for your next goal. I think it's also to remember, though, you don't always have to have a goal. I think goals are important for a lot of different personality types, but man, there are some people who don't thrive well with goals, and all that you need to do is just take a break for a little bit and enjoy the game. You don't always have to be, trophy chasing. Some people, like me, really enjoy that. But if you don't, or you want to take a break for a season and not trophy chase for a year, 2 years, that's completely fine too. Do whatever you're going to have the most fun with in the game. Don't let these big goals that you're trying to achieve distract from the reason that you started playing, whether that's the battle games or the friendships or anything else like that. Just make sure that you're keeping the fun things fun. As long as you're doing that, you can't really go wrong. So that wraps up this short episode of Fireside Chats. If you have a question for me about LARPing, Renaissance Fair, really anything, feel free, drop those down in the comments below, and maybe your question will make its way onto our Fireside Chats. My name is St. Godric. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to get more content like this. We'll see you next time. Peace.